Hi everyone, welcome back to another video. Today I want to show off this D&D stat tracker that I made recently. It's designed to help you keep track of various stats during combat, without having to erase your player sheet constantly, which is something I find annoying while playing, especially since I can't seem to find an eraser half the time. It has two distinct sections, one for tracking spell slots, death slaves and luck points, and one for tracking the HP of you and something else of your choice. It's also my first design to use resin parts, but I'll go over that in a bit. To begin with, the spells and saves section. These numbers 1 to 9 represent the maximum number of each level of spell that you could have on a character. A drawer under the top opens to reveal a bunch of little pegs in two colours. You can run the spell tracker with this in a couple of ways. Here I use black pegs to represent all the spell slots I haven't unlocked yet. This makes it easy to refill spells after a long rest. Whenever you use a spell, take out a peg. I really like how it gives a visual indication of how many spells you have left at a glance, and it can be quite tense seeing them slowly deplete over a close combat. For an example, here's how I would set it up for my 9th level Curse of the Toad Werewolf Ranger Elf Hunter Baker. At 9th level it has 4 first level spell slots, 3 second level spell slots, and 2 third level spell slots. I fill the unavailable slots with black pegs, and the available ones with white pegs. When I use a spell, I leave that spot blank until I regain that spell slot, and I find this less confusing than using a black peg. Saving throws and luck tokens are pretty self-explanatory. If I fail a save, put in a black peg. If I succeed, I put in a white one. If you have the lucky feat, take out a peg for each token you use. The second part of the device is an HP tracker. When I play, I usually just write and erase my player sheet, or, more often than not, just write a bunch and erase at the end. This is obviously my fault, but this health tracker provides an easy way to track health without writing it down. The observant amongst you may have noticed that there are actually 2 trackers, and how you use them is really up to you. Likely one will be for your player character, but the other could be used for temp hit points, familiar hit points, NPC hit points, eldritch cannon hit points, summoned elemental hit points, etc. Whatever you use it for is really up to you.
Is that a min in a rocket?
Yeah. Do you know where he's headed? The sun.
Oh.
He's gonna be the first man on the sun.
I will be.
Fire resistance.
Fire resistance.
First man on the sun.
Number of times the party has got distracted
this
session.
Have you heard about it?
There's no fancy mechanism here, you just turn the dials with a finger. They are a little stiff, but not hard to turn, so they stay in place no problem. As I mentioned earlier, these dials are my first design that uses resin printing. Currently, I don't have a non-resin solution, but if people ask for it, I'll work something out. The drawer for the pegs is way bigger than needed for just the pegs. In the files, I do have some compartmentalized versions if that interests you, but I like having them loose so I can also fit some other supplies like a pencil and a sharpener. Anyways, that's all I have for this video. Parts are in the description. I'll say now that I am considering selling these in the future once I've invested in some more printers, so stay tuned if that interests you. Thanks as always for watching. If you enjoy this content, consider subscribing and liking the video. It's really helpful for me. See you next time.
I just had a big brain fart reading the contents because I looked at the Ranger tab
17, not
and
bad.
I saw the class Beekeeper and I'm like, that's a weird subclass
Beekeeper.
Beekeeper.
Is that actually Beekeeper?
No, I read it wrong. It's Swarmkeeper. I just put B out of there.
Why don't they have it as Beekeeper? It's better.
I'm a Beekeeper Ranger.
You could actually be as Swarmkeeper.
Yeah, who
Of
cares?
bees.
I'm gonna look into that. That sounds
Kind of funny, actually.
The beekeeper as a character.
Yeah, you have to be called the Beekeeper as well. You're just wearing that big beekeeper suit the whole time.
To be honest, like the gnome for it is like got a locust swarm around them. We just make it bees.
Yeah. Wasps.
The wasp keeper. I'm gonna be honest, swarm keeper sounds pretty cool. You can make like the swarm can pick someone up 15 feet.
Of bees?
Bee swarm. The bee swarm picked up my ass.
No, not the bee! That sounds so funny.
Being killed by bees.
Wait,
of
if
all
you pick
things.
them up 15 feet and then hover them over a cliff, does that mean...
Sorry,
The bees fall as well.
The attack.
The bees scatter.
The target has to make a strength save against your DC, or they are moved by the swarm up to 15 feet horizontally in a direction of your choice.
Horizontally,
Yeah,
not vertically.
so you could literally, you can pick them off and push them off a cliff.
No.
And then but you can also make the swarm move you 5 feet horizontally. Dude, the level 7 ability for Beekeeper is, as a bonus action, you get a flying speed of 10 feet and can hover.
Just in your swarm. Can you shape the swarm? Like, could you have a throne that's just sitting in a bee?
Your politics bore me. Fucking MODOK. It's just Thanos and fucking Guardians of the Galaxy just in the chair.
This is actually really fun. Like, this looks so flavorful.
I like how you're just calling it Beekeeper, not even calling it Swarmkeeper.
Yeah, because I'm a
my swarm's gonna be mosquitoes. Shut up, idiot. It's gonna be bees.
Oh, what?
The level 5, like the capstone for the subclass. When you take damage, you can use a reaction to give you resistance to that damage. And, you vanish into your swarm and can teleport to an unoccupied space you can see within 30 feet. And you and your swarm will reappear there.
Imagine it's like the Homer Bush meme, except into bees.
Do you know why they call me the Beekeeper? Because I hunt these bees.